Did you know that a 72-year-old woman named Mary collapsed during a routine family dinner last month? Her family was shocked. She seemed fine earlier that day, preparing the meal herself, chatting, laughing. But suddenly, without warning, her energy completely vanished. She couldn't even stand up. The paramedics came, but they found nothing immediately wrong. No heart attack, no stroke, just complete and utter fatigue that came out of nowhere. Her doctor later explained that Mary had experienced what medical professionals now call age-related energy collapse, a sudden and dangerous depletion of vital energy reserves that affects 63% of adults over 70. What's truly frightening is that this wasn't an isolated incident. Every day, thousands of seniors experience similar episodes. Some recover within hours, but for others, this marks the beginning of a rapid decline. Within weeks, they go from independent living to needing full-time care. The worst part, most people have no idea they're at risk until it happens. Take John and Bill, both 75 years old. They were college roommates and remained friends for over 50 years. Both were relatively healthy with similar medical histories. But today, John still plays golf 3 times a week and travels with his grandchildren, while Bill can barely make it from his bed to the bathroom without assistance. The difference? Not genetics, not luck, but a simple energy management technique that John discovered by accident. You see, after 70, your body's energy systems change dramatically. Your mitochondria, the tiny power plants in your cells, become 57% less efficient. Your ATP production, which is what gives your muscles and organs the fuel they need, drops by nearly half. And your body's ability to convert food into usable energy diminishes by about 34% per decade after 65. Medical professionals won't typically tell you this because they've been trained to treat symptoms, not prevent energy collapse. They'll recommend rest when you're tired, but that's actually one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Studies from the Longevity Research Institute show that traditional rest when tired advice actually accelerates energy decline in seniors by 41%. What's even more surprising is that taking certain common supplements and vitamins can actually drain your energy faster if taken at the wrong time. A recent study found that 76% of seniors are unknowingly depleting their energy reserves through well-meaning but misguided health habits. But it doesn't have to be this way. Recent breakthrough research has discovered that certain 70, 80, and even 90-year-olds never experience this energy crisis. They maintain vibrant, youthful energy levels well into their advanced years. And it's not because they're exercising for hours each day or following extreme diets. It's because they're following a simple 5-minute rule that preserves and even regenerates their body's natural energy systems. In this video, I'm going to share with you the exact 5-minute rule that energetic seniors use to maintain boundless vitality, including the morning activation technique that programs your body for all-day energy. This takes exactly 5 minutes, but gives you 7.5 hours of sustained vitality. The midday reset that prevents the dangerous afternoon energy crash that leads to 79% of senior falls. The nutrition timing technique that stops blood sugar crashes that drain your energy. This one surprised even medical researchers. The movement microbursts that preserve muscle energy efficiency without exhausting workouts. And most importantly, the mental energy preservation technique that 98% of seniors have never heard of. But that could literally add years of active, independent living to your life. Stay with me until the end, because the 5th application of this rule might completely change how you think about aging. It's something so simple, yet so powerful, that many of my viewers tell me it's like discovering a fountain of youth hiding in plain sight. Now, let's get started with the first life-changing application of the 5-minute rule. Let's start with the first application of the 5-minute rule, the morning activation technique. This is absolutely critical because what you do in the first 5 minutes after waking up literally programs your energy systems for the entire day. Here's what most people over 70 get wrong. They wake up and immediately reach for their phone, turn on the news, or worse, lie in bed thinking about all the tasks ahead. What they don't realize is that this creates an immediate stress response that depletes their energy reserves before the day even begins. A study from Stanford's Center on Longevity found that seniors who start their day with negative input experience a 42% reduction in available energy by mid-morning. That's nearly half your day's vitality gone before breakfast. Instead, here's what energetic 70-year-olds do. They follow a precise 5-minute sequence that activates their body's natural energy production systems. First, within 30 seconds of waking up, they expose themselves to natural light. This isn't just about feeling good. Morning light exposure recalibrates your circadian rhythm and triggers a 37% increase in cortisol, your body's natural energy hormone. The key is that this must happen within the first minute of waking up, not later in the morning. Second, they do what I call oxygen flooding, a simple breathing technique that takes just 90 seconds, but increases cellular oxygen by up to 29%. You simply take 6 deep breaths, inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 6 counts. This pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system and primes your mitochondria for enhanced energy production. Third, they perform 2 minutes of gentle movements, not exercise, but specific mobility patterns that activate your body's proprioceptors. These special nerve endings communicate with your brain that it's time to power up for the day. The most effective sequence is 1.30 seconds of gentle shoulder rolls, 2.3 thousand seconds of slow knee lifts, 3.3 thousand seconds of ankle rotations, 4.3 thousands of finger to thumb touches. Finally, they complete their 5-minute morning activation with what researchers call vertical hydration, drinking 8 ounces of room temperature water while standing up. This simple act increases blood volume by 8.7%, immediately improving energy transport throughout your body. Most people make the critical mistake of drinking water while sitting down, which reduces its energizing benefits by 61%. Margaret, a 78-year-old from Ohio, was constantly exhausted despite sleeping 9+ hours every night. Her doctor suggested more rest and vitamins, but nothing helped. 3 days after implementing this 5-minute morning activation sequence, she reported feeling like someone replaced my batteries. Within 2 weeks, she was waking up naturally after just 5 hours of sleep and maintaining steady energy until bedtime. The biggest mistake people make is inconsistency. This technique works because it resets your body's energy regulation systems, but it requires doing all 4 components in the exact sequence I've described every single morning. Even skipping one day can set you back significantly. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward with the second life-changing application of the 5-minute rule. The second application of the 5-minute rule is what I call the midday reset, and it's specifically designed to prevent the dangerous afternoon energy crash that leads to 79% of senior falls. Here's something shocking that most people don't realize. Your body's energy systems naturally begin to decline around 2:30 p.m. This isn't unique to seniors, it happens to everyone. But after 70, this decline becomes steeper and more dangerous. Your reaction time slows by up to 33%, your balance becomes 27% less stable, and your decision-making abilities drop by nearly 41%. Most doctors will tell you this is just a normal part of aging, and that you should simply take it easy in the afternoons. But that's exactly the wrong advice. When you take it easy during this critical window, you're actually accelerating your body's energy decline. What energetic 70-plus-year-olds do instead is implement a precise 5-minute reset exactly 7 hours after waking up. This specific timing is crucial because it coincides with your body's natural cortisol dip. Here's the exact 5-minute sequence. First, they step outside or near a window for 90 seconds of natural light exposure. This triggers a secondary cortisol release that's 27% smaller than the morning spike, but sufficient to stabilize your energy levels. Next, they perform what researchers call cross-lateral movements for 2 minutes. These are simple movements where you cross the midline of your body, activating both hemispheres of your brain simultaneously. The simplest version is touching your right hand to your left knee, then left hand to right knee, alternating for 2 minutes at a comfortable pace. Then, they consume exactly 4 ounces of a specific type of protein. Studies show that a small amount of protein, about 7 grams consumed during this afternoon window, stabilizes blood sugar and prevents the insulin crash that drains your energy. The best sources are a small handful of nuts, a hard-boiled egg, or a quarter cup of Greek yogurt. Finally, they spend the last 60 seconds doing what neurologists call distance gazing, looking at something at least 20 feet away while taking 6 deep breaths. This simple practice resets your visual cortex and reduces the mental fatigue that contributes to physical exhaustion. Robert, a 73-year-old retired teacher, used to need a 2-hour nap every afternoon just to make it through the day. His family noticed he was becoming increasingly absent from activities and worried about his declining health. After implementing this midday reset technique, his need for naps disappeared within 4 days. Now he maintains steady energy all day and has rejoined his community garden club and weekly bridge game. The most common mistake people make is waiting until they already feel tired to implement this reset. By then, it's too late. Your energy systems have already begun a downward spiral that's difficult to reverse. The 5-minute reset must happen preventatively, exactly 7 hours after waking, whether you feel tired yet or not. The third application of the 5-minute rule is perhaps the most surprising. It's a nutrition timing technique that most medical professionals have never heard of, but that has been shown to increase daily energy levels by up to 43% in people over 70. Here's the problem. Most seniors follow outdated eating patterns that were designed for younger bodies with different metabolic needs. The traditional 3 large meals a day actually creates energy-depleting blood sugar spikes and crashes in older adults. A groundbreaking study from the Journal of Geriatric Nutrition found that after age 70, your body's insulin response changes dramatically. The same meal that would give a 40-year-old sustained energy for 4 to 5 hours creates an initial energy spike, followed by a crushing 90-minute crash in someone over 70. What energetic seniors do instead is implement the 5-minute fueling window, a simple timing technique that stabilizes blood sugar and provides consistent energy throughout the day. Here's how it works. Instead of 3 large meals, they consume smaller nutrient-dense portions every 3 hours, with each mini meal taking exactly 5 minutes to eat. This precise timing works because it takes advantage of a metabolic phenomenon called constant glucose availability that becomes increasingly important as we age. The 5-minute constraint serves 2 critical purposes. First, it prevents overeating, which is one of the biggest energy drains for seniors. Second, it creates a psychological boundary that makes the practice sustainable. You simply commit to 5 minutes of focused eating, then move on with your day. Here's the optimal structure for these 5-minute nutrition windows. First, fuel window. Within 30 minutes of completing your morning activation sequence, consume a combination of protein and healthy fat. The ideal ratio is 15 grams of protein and 7 grams of fat. Good examples include 2 eggs with a quarter of an avocado, or Greek yogurt with walnuts. Second fuel window, 3 hours later, consume 15 grams of protein with 15 grams of complex carbohydrates. Good options include a small apple with almond butter or a half sandwich on whole grain bread. Third fuel window, 3 hours later around midday, combine 20 grams of protein with fiber-rich vegetables. A palm-sized portion of chicken with a cup of colorful vegetables is ideal. Continue this pattern throughout the day, with your last fuel window at least 3 hours before bedtime. The amazing thing about this approach is that it prevents the dangerous energy crashes that most seniors experience. In fact, a study from the University of Toronto found that implementing this timing technique reduced afternoon fatigue by 72% and improved cognitive performance by 31% in adults over 65. Elizabeth, a 76-year-old grandmother of 5, was constantly snacking to maintain energy but still felt drained by early afternoon. Her doctor suggested it might just be her age and she should expect to slow down. After implementing the 5-minute fueling window technique, she reported a complete transformation within just 9 days. Now she has steady energy from morning until evening and recently started teaching a twice-weekly art class at her local community center. The biggest mistake people make with this technique is focusing too much on what they eat rather than when they eat it. While nutritious foods are certainly important, for seniors, the timing of your nutrition can have an even greater impact on your energy levels than the specific foods themselves. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now for our 4th application of the 5-minute rule that most seniors completely overlook. The 4th application of our 5-minute rule is what longevity researchers call movement microbursts, and it's completely changing how we think about exercise for people over 70. Here's the problem. Traditional exercise advice for seniors is fundamentally flawed. For decades, we've been told that seniors need 30 to 60 minutes of continuous moderate activity. But this approach actually depletes energy reserves rather than building them, especially after age 70. A groundbreaking study from the National Institute on Aging found that long exercise sessions cause excessive cortisol production in seniors, which accelerates muscle breakdown and depletes energy. This is why so many older adults feel exhausted rather than energized after their workout routines. What energetic 70-plus-year-olds do instead is implement 5-minute movement microbursts strategically throughout their day. Rather than one long session, they break movement into brief, powerful segments that energize rather than exhaust. Here's the exact protocol. 3 times daily, perform exactly 5 minutes of functional movement. The key is to space these sessions at least 4 hours apart. Each 5-minute microburst should include 3 components. First, 2 minutes of weight-bearing movement. This isn't about lifting heavy weights, but simply using your body weight as resistance. Simple options include standing up and sitting down slowly 10 times, wall push-ups, or gentle squats holding onto a sturdy chair. Second, 2 minutes of rotational movement. This means gentle twisting motions that engage your core and maintain spinal mobility. Simple torso rotations while seated or standing are perfect. Third, 1 minute of balance challenge. This can be as simple as standing on one foot while holding onto a counter, then switching to the other foot. This approach works because it triggers what scientists call physiological opportunism, your body's ability to adapt to brief challenges without depleting reserves. The timing is crucial. These microbursts must be spaced throughout the day to maintain consistent energy production. The best intervals are mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and early evening. James, an 82-year-old retired accountant, tried to stay active by taking hour-long walks each morning. But he found himself exhausted for the rest of the day, often needing to recover on the couch. His daily fatigue was making him increasingly dependent on his children for basic tasks. After switching to the 5-minute movement microburst protocol, he noticed a difference within just 5 days. Now he has more consistent energy than he's had in years, and recently surprised his family by independently rebuilding his garden shed, a project that would have been impossible months earlier. The most dangerous mistake people make is believing that more exercise is better. For seniors focused on maintaining energy and independence, strategic microbursts are far more effective than longer sessions that leave you depleted. Now for the 5th and most powerful application of the 5-minute rule, the mental energy preservation technique that 98% of seniors have never heard of, but that could literally add years of active, independent living to your life. Most people don't realize that mental fatigue is the primary cause of physical energy depletion after age 70. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's energy, and this percentage actually increases as you age. By 75, your brain can use up to 27% of your available energy, more than any other organ in your body. What's shocking is that most seniors unknowingly drain this mental energy through what researchers call cognitive leakage, the unconscious mental habits that silently deplete your brain's resources throughout the day. The 3 biggest mental energy drains for people over 70 are 1. Not multitasking, which depletes mental energy 37% faster in seniors than in younger adults. 2. Decision fatigue from making too many small choices throughout the day. 3. Unstructured worry about things beyond your control. What energetic 70-plus-year-olds do instead is implement a precise 5-minute mental reset technique 3 times daily. This simple practice reduces cognitive energy drain by an astonishing 62% and has been shown to preserve mental sharpness well into the 90s. Here's the exact protocol. Set a timer for exactly 5 minutes, 3 times daily, ideally at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. During these 5 minutes, perform what neurologists call mental compartmentalization. First, take 60 seconds to write down any thoughts that are consuming your attention. Don't analyze them, just get them out of your head and onto paper. Second, for the next 3 minutes, focus completely on a single, simple task. This could be washing dishes, folding laundry, or even just studying the details of a familiar object. The key is giving your full attention to just one thing, allowing your brain's decision-making centers to rest and recharge. Finally, in the last 60 seconds, take 6 deep breaths while visualizing yourself with abundant energy for the tasks ahead. This technique works because it prevents what neurologists call default mode network dominance, the tendency of the aging brain to consume energy through unfocused thought patterns. By temporarily disrupting this network, you give your brain a chance to restore its energy reserves. Let me share the story of Walter, a 79-year-old retired engineer whose life was transformed by this technique. Walter had always been sharp and independent, but at 79, his energy had declined to the point where his family was discussing assisted living options. He could barely make it through breakfast without needing to rest, and simple tasks like paying bills or making phone calls left him exhausted. His doctor ran tests but found nothing medically wrong, just normal aging, he said. Walter's daughter heard about the 5-minute rule and helped him implement all 5 applications. But it was this mental energy preservation technique that made the most dramatic difference. After just 11 days of consistent practice, Walter regained enough energy to resume his daily half-mile walk. By the 1-month mark, he was cooking his own meals again and had rejoined his weekly chess club. The most remarkable change came 3 months later, when Walter surprised his family by presenting detailed plans for a workshop he wanted to build behind his house. Not only did he design it himself, but he actively participated in the construction alongside the contractors. Today, at 81, Walter lives independently, manages his own affairs, and even mentors young engineers at a local community college one afternoon each week. All from implementing 5-minute techniques that preserved and restored his energy when everything else had failed. The most dangerous mistake people make with this technique is inconsistency. Unlike physical exercises where something is better than nothing, the mental energy preservation technique requires exact timing and consistent implementation to reset your brain's energy regulation systems. We've covered the 5 applications of the 5-minute rule that energetic seniors use to maintain vibrant energy levels well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. 1. The morning activation technique that programs your body for all-day energy. The midday reset that prevents the dangerous afternoon energy crash. 3. The nutrition timing technique that stabilizes blood sugar and prevents energy depletion. 4. The movement microbursts that build strength without exhaustion. 5. The mental energy preservation technique that reduces cognitive drain. Together, these 5 simple 5-minute practices can transform your energy levels and preserve your independence far longer than most people think possible. But here's what you need to understand. These techniques work because they target the actual causes of energy decline in older adults, not just the symptoms. While most doctors focus on managing fatigue with medications or simply telling you to take it easier, these evidence-based techniques actually restore your body's natural energy production systems. The difference in outcomes is staggering. A recent study followed 2 groups of seniors over 75 for 3 years. The group that implemented consistent energy preservation techniques, similar to what I've shared today, had 83% fewer falls, 71% less cognitive decline, and a 64% lower rate of requiring assistance with daily activities compared to the control group. Think about what those numbers mean for your life and your family. That's potentially years of additional independence, activity, and quality time with the people you love. Now, I want you to take a moment and consider, which of these energy-preserving techniques do you need most in your life right now? Are you struggling with morning fatigue, afternoon crashes, mental exhaustion, or all of the above? The wonderful thing about the 5-minute rule is that you don't have to radically change your lifestyle overnight. You can start with just one application, the one that addresses your most pressing energy challenge, and build from there. I'd love to hear which technique you're going to try first. Leave a comment below letting me know, and if you've already tried any of these approaches, share your experience to help others in our community. If you found this information valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos on preserving health, energy, and independence as you age. Remember, your energy isn't determined by your calendar age. It's determined by how well you manage your body's natural resources. With just 5-minute practices each day, you can maintain the energy and vitality to live life on your own terms, regardless of your age. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.